So happy Saturday. We are back in the house here. So we came on, I think, Wednesday to do layout. Then Thursday we worked Thursday we were at the liquor house, and then back here yesterday. Yesterday there were some more changes with the layout, and then we got the one unit, the west unit framed out. So I'll give you guys a bit of a tour. Hope everyone's doing well out there. If you pop it in, hit that like button for me. I appreciate that. And yeah, let me just, as usual, flip the camera and turn her around. I'll give you a little tour. So you can kind of see all the different changes, like all these lines, right? There was lots of changes. So trying to get everything to fit. So it's kind of like what they did here was they have already purchased the millwork, the shelving, and the things like for closets or whatever, right? So they're trying to fit the pre-purchase stuff in. And this is why you build your place, and then you have someone like that's a closet. Like here in Edmonton, we use someone like California Closets. They'll come in, they'll measure everything, and then they'll manufacture it custom to the house. It makes more sense. I think, in my opinion, that is actually the cheaper way to go. Because you're always the extra cost now for us for doing the extra layout and the changes and stuff like that probably would have paid for those custom cabinets, right? So it is what it is. So this is a two-story duplex, framed with steel, all steel framing. Now plywood roof sheeting, okay, that's for the roof ply. Okay, you can check that out right there. But other than that, there's no more wood, okay, not until the finishes. The floor is a concrete board. I'll give you an example. It is I guess a floor concrete board, I'm assuming, but it's another mold resistant, waterproof product, right? It's also fireproof as well. So it's a heavy bugger. It's a super heavy bugger, and it's got a coating on the front, just like you can see this fiberglassy or this fabric-y stuff, okay? The exterior is sheeted with the Den's glass. This is a 1/2-inch Den's glass. You can get this product in 5/8, you can get it in 3/4, and you can get it in 1 inch. So this is a good product for the exterior. It's also mold and waterproof and fire resistant as well. So this house is extremely fireproof, right? It'll take you can't burn it down, and then you could barely demo this with an excavator, I bet, because it's all steel, super heavy duty steel. We're not sure if it's 18 gauge this time, so they traditionally use 16 gauge. I'm trying to find. I haven't really seen any indication, but I think it might be 18 gauge this time. I don't know, but I'm gonna follow up on that. But you can kind of see how it goes together. They don't do things like we do, right? If we were to stick build this on site, and these were panels, but if we were to stick build this on site, it would be different. Okay, this would be a box beam here. The tracks here, you can see there's no deflection in these tracks whatsoever. Okay, we have deflection in ours. Okay, this time we finally got the right, on the last couple of houses, they kept sending us standard track, but I kept requesting slot track. But here we're using the slotted track for the interior. So I don't know how I don't even see any control joints on the exterior, guys. So I'm not so sure how they deal with the contraction and expansion, okay? I'm not sure. I'm gonna follow up with that as well. So anyways, the title of the video though is how to maximize your money when you're pieceworking or contracting or working in general. You're working with a partner. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go and you're laying out all your walls, okay? Like even here, you can see change after change, right? But that's the first thing you wanna do is lay out all your walls. The second thing you wanna do is you bang down and in this situation, you're banging down your bottom track. The only time you really do your top track first, guys, is on, say, an exterior wall. You're doing the next brace. You want to put your top on and then your bottom, okay, or your bottom and your top, and then you use a straight edge, like you clamp a stud to the top and bottom track, and then you fill out all the X's, right? You just blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean. Or if you're driving a lift in there and it's tight, okay, you want to up your top track, get all that shot on, and then your bottom track, so that you're not having to move the lift in and out to get at the areas, or to get around the track. You're not driving over track. But other than that, most of the time you're going to go bottom track first. Okay, so as your bottom track is going ahead, you can start cutting clips. And like when a wall lands between these trusses, right, you need somewhere to fasten it to, right? So you build these clips out of studs or use flat stock or whatever. These clips are probably the most strongest way to do it, but it's not necessary. The flat stock, the only thing with the flat stock is it flexes this way, whereas the stud is not going to do that, right? But that's not a big issue. Flat stock is definitely the most convenient, but you can't use anything that will be below the ceiling height, okay? Like a furring bar, for example, because you have to drywall it straight up. It's going to be flat, right? You want to drywall it, so you cannot use furring bar in that situation. I mean, you could if you cut you just have to cut the tabs so that it's flat, okay? You just have to cut tabs. So you can technically, yes, but I'm just saying, like, you're not going to put the furring bar from here over there without any kind of slot in it, right? So yeah, after that, okay, so the one guy is going ahead and he's putting on top track, okay? The layout, so the way I do it is when I'm laying the track out, okay, the kind of the second thing I'll do is I'll do the layout. And before I start doing the top track, because as I'm installing the top track, I'll do my layouts, just to just so I don't have to go back to the same area twice, right? So that's how I do that. And then one guy can be cutting studs and putting them in, doing layout or whatever, okay, and putting studs in and cutting studs. And then also cutting headers, okay? So having the headers ready, you can measure the header just from the opening on the floor, okay? And then you're getting those headers ready. And you can pre-guess I don't think it's like, it's not like a crazy amount, but it is more, maybe 20% more. So the thing is with the slot track is, and it also kind of, like, I bet you the heavier gauge it goes, the more the price is going to vary, right? But you want to make sure that your slot track is below any structure, okay? So you can't, in this situation, you really shouldn't use standard track. Because you need to have the walls. You don't want your walls and your mud and stuff cracking, right? So the building moves. So you want the wall to kind of move with it, nice and free, okay? And this is also why you don't, when you're drywalling, you're not putting screws. Like, you got to keep your screws 3/4 of an inch down here, okay? You don't want to be screwing into the top tracks either. Okay, you don't want anything that will interfere with that slot. It is more expensive, yeah, but I couldn't tell you exactly how much more. I would say 20% more though than the standard. So, but yeah, you got to make sure, like, anything under structure. So, like under the I-beams or wherever, okay? And that's where the expansion joints and control joints come from, like in your exterior walls and stuff like that. I'm actually surprised. I just noticed that. Hey, Murat, there's no control joints. So yeah, and then so this concrete floor, even though it's good in theory, but for any type of flooring, you want to have tongue and groove as your base layer. Okay, you want a tongue and groove product so that your seams aren't popping. Okay, so you got seams popping all over the place here. Okay, and the problem with concrete board is it flexes. So if you're walking on the floor and it's moving, the screws are threading out, so they're eventually going to fail. Okay, so my opinion, if you're going to do a concrete floor, it absolutely has to be perfectly flat. So for an example, there's a part over here. Oh my goodness.
And that's the money saver too. Otherwise, the subflow.
That's right. Yes. So you can see right here, okay? It's up quite a bit. It's up a ½ inch here in the center, and that's because underneath, when I'm down there, I'll show you it's out like a 1/4 inch over here, right? out of level. So this beam itself is out of level. So now these guys have to figure out how to get the panels in properly. The most important thing with a house, guys, is making the structural steel perfectly level and plumb, okay? And then your foundation, also, the elevation has to be perfectly shot in, and it has to be perfectly square, okay? You have to be square off the start, okay? This isn't like wood where you can manipulate it. Everything has to be, like, once you lay a good foundation, okay, of concrete and structural steel, and then everything else will fall into place, right? Oh no, yeah, no, that's definitely not passable. They're gonna change it. So the owner will not accept that. He's making them fix it. And I'll show you how they're gonna fix it downstairs. But for now, like we're already kind of a day and a half behind here because of the layout changes. So we're just going for it. We gave them a day to come and screw it up, but they didn't make it in. So yeah, we have to get going with it. But let me think here. So. Yeah, and so remind me when I go downstairs, I'll show you that what they're going to do to change that. So, but with the concrete board, you got to put 3 screws in the field, and they haven't done that here. Okay, so they need to come back, and they're going to be adding more screws. But you need to have 3 screws in the field. But also, you cannot absolutely not break the surface. Okay, so the screws are going to be sticking out a little bit. Now, these guys, as soon as you countersink your screw in this, it's kind of a fail because it's just like I said, it's gonna loosen, right? It's gonna thread and loosen, and it's just gonna fail over and over and over again, right? So you don't, and then you got improper screws here too, right? But you do not. How do you allow for deflection at drywall ceiling wall? Yeah, I'll show you that in 1 second, my man. And yeah, Lemon, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's totally almost impossible. Then the owner is not accepting it. So, but yeah, so tongue and groove would be a better product. But if you're going to do this, okay, what you have to do is you have to make sure your screws do not penetrate, okay, and they have to go like literally. You can't be putting your screws in on angles, okay. They got to be as up and down as possible as you can. And then as soon as it's screwed off, you got to membrane this thing. All right, so put some like blue skin or some sort of membrane down over top, okay, and that's going to give you your final seal, okay. That's how I think it should be done, right? Some sort of layer on top to seal it, okay, and then you have to put a subfloor on top as well after that, okay. I don't know if it's hardwood or whatever, but you're definitely going to need some sort of underlay and subfloor as well, okay. But as far as fire rating and waterproofing goes, this is a great product, but it would be such a pain in the butt to install this way, right? It's great tile backer and things like that, but it just, yeah, right? Okay, let's go, moving on. All right, so deflection is in the slot track, okay? That's how we allow for our deflection. It's simple. Well, we put our slot track on the top, and when we're screwing off slot track, okay, you're keeping your screws only in the studs, okay? You do not screw into that top track at all, okay? You're gonna screw 3/4 to an inch down below the slot track. That's how that's done. The screws there are in the middle of the slots, guys, okay? For up and down, okay? Those are in the middles, okay? What else? But yeah, so I haven't seen the control joints for the exterior, so I don't know how they're gonna do that. Or if it's like, I don't know, maybe they don't need it, I don't know. So the way that it's engineered, I'm not sure. But you can kind of see here too, like on a wood structure, we would have just turned a 2x4 on its flat like this to catch the drywall at the top. But yeah, these guys, you have to think about drywall and give the drywall some backing, okay? Because there's no backing in here for that. Okay, this joist is a little close, but And then Murat found this interesting. So this whole corner is supported on this one beam here, basically, right? It's attached to this truss on angles, and then it's sitting on this one beam which does not have a column or anything below it, right? So that's a little different, but. And yeah, I don't see any, and this is another thing I would do. This here, I would line with treated plywood, okay, and then wrap with blue skin, okay? This is not properly water sealed, okay? These windows, you need to have wood in here, and you need to wrap it with blue skin, okay, to seal it properly. The blue skin has to wrap out into the Dens glass at the front, okay? And then it ties into the exterior membrane. So I just noticed that too. Yeah, these windows are not properly sealed. Yeah, you can see right through. Like you can see sunlight. So when the drywall comes in, you got an air gap here now. So all of this has to be at least minimum like foamed and sealed, okay? So, but I would have went further, and I would have put three-quarter inch plywood in there and then wrapped it with blue skin. Okay, going downstairs, I'm going to show you the other side there. Do I have that? Yes. Okay. It's a sketchy ladder. So yeah, I thought there was a lot of material, but it looks like we're using it up, which is really good. So not a whole bunch left there, which is great. So this is also on the main floor, guys. We're using slotted track. Okay. Oh, see, yeah, right? It's crazy, dude. It's actually crazy. So we need a bin too. Like that's a big garbage pile. Not ours, but ours is just a steel right there. But yeah, we need a bin to throw all that in and get it cleaned up. But we're keeping the inside pretty good. It's definitely better than it was when we got here for sure. But it was quite muddy at first too. But yeah, so same thing, guys. Slot track on each floor. Okay. Boom. And the basement hasn't been poured yet, but we're gonna be back for that. There's some closet fiasco here too, where we can't seem to get the closets they want to fit, so that's getting out of hand too. Bathrooms, plumbing walls, but yeah, the basement, right? Look at that, right? It's a little messy. Like, guys, I hate when you guys do that. Throw their cups and shit. Somebody has to eventually clean that up, right? Like, give me a break, okay? Put your coffee cups and your garbage in the garbage bag, man. Come on, man. What are you thinking? You know, and your client's going to see it like that? Like, oh, man. Like, look, there's Tim Hortons everywhere, dudes. Tim Hortons everywhere. Holy cow. Look. Tim Hortons. Jesus, man. That's insane. Wow. So yeah, but when we get down there, though, we'll be able to see more, show you more of the structure as well. So, and yeah, these beams up there should be insulated inside, like both sides as well, right? Okay, so now back to this. This is where the floor has to come and change. Yeah. Right there. So you can see the beam doesn't line up, like this panel doesn't line up to this panel, right? So they need this to line up. And apparently the structural is kind of sloped. It's actually sloped enough I can see it with my own eye, believe it or not. So that structural steel, that's why you guys, it needs to be level, man. Like it's a really important for all this structural to be mint. Like, the structural in the concrete has to be mint level on these kind of jobs, right? But yeah, look like that, eh? They just have it sitting right on the panel as well. So I know those panels are structural panels. They're really heavy gauge, like heavy duty, right? But you can see like what a crazy build, though, right? All these panels, man. A lot of steel in them. But yeah, I'm looking here too, and I don't see a whole lot of screws coming through the joists for the flooring, dudes. Like I'm really surprised. I know they have to come back and screw it off, but like it's really, wow, I don't see a lot. And then same thing with that floor there. It's also screwed in, and it definitely needs more fasteners. See there, like there's no fasteners there screwing this panel into that structural steel. The only fasteners they have are in the middle here. So that whole second floor is being held up by 9 fasteners, man. 9 fasteners. Wow, that's kind of scary. And same thing on this side too. They got at least one in each thing, but they got to unscrew it, lift it up. But they're gonna need screw jacks and stuff like that. And then there's none. There's no screws on this side, dude. There's none, not even attempted. You can see, like, holy cow. There's 1, 2 screws there, and 1 screw here on this side, but there's none along the middle. Weird. That is really crazy. We gotta be watch that. And then these should hopefully be screwed together well. But oh my goodness, yeah, we gotta watch out for that stuff. Okay, those are good. Those are good. But and then this side here looks like it's got a good amount of screw in it. Yeah. Okay. Good. Wow, that was kind of scary actually. But yeah. So yeah, it's just like you gotta have a sequence that works for you guys, and then. As the one guy is studding out, okay, when all the studs are in, you go back and you start screwing off your studs, you know, screwing off and screwing off your bottoms, and then you get your headers in, or you know, you screw off your tops and get your headers in, and yeah, work in a team, find out, you know, what each other can do and likes to do, and go off of that, right? And yeah, you could switch it up once in a while, but yeah, like this is a nice property. I'll show you the yard too. So they had to put piles along here for retaining, I guess, for like a retaining type protection because of the fall off here. Okay, you can see how it goes like that, right? But it's kind of beautiful. This is Edmonton. Yeah, Lemon. No way. Yeah. This is just off of White Ave on 78th Ave, dude. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, this is just down on 78th Ave, behind White Ave there. Oh, so they got some sort of. Right on, dude. A fellow Edmontonian. That's sick, dude. They got some sort of wrapping here on the bottom, right? You see that? But it's wrapped right to the steel. I don't know. It doesn't go all the way. It's silicone. Looks like it's silicone here. And yeah, so they got silicone in there for sure, but they got this stuff here. I just totally would have went with blueskin wrap and then tied it in. Okay. So wow, there's some crazy stuff. You guys know how much 800 HDS 97 steel costs per linear? 800 HDS 97 steel? What is that? Do you want to know how much to install a per linear foot? Is that the question there? You want to know what the rates? So the rates are vary. So you go starting at like bare minimum $450 a foot for very simple stuff and low walled stuff, okay? And then it goes up to about $13.50 a foot. If you're doing exterior steel, it's I think 65 cents a square foot minimum, and plus $500 per X brace. So you have to add that. They're 12 gauge studs for headers and windows. Oh yeah. So something like that, I would even go like $16, $16.50 a square linear foot. If it's 12 gauge, that's pretty heavy duty. I would go up there. But also too, you got to remember the height. Okay, so the height of the wall. If you're doing a really high building, man, go like, I don't know. I would even go 90 cents a square foot for you know, like if you're doing an exterior job. Yeah, I would crank that baby up because that's a heavy duty steel. Yeah, but yeah, looking good, man. Looking good. So yeah, does anyone have any more questions? I'm gonna get going to work here. I'm just gonna check the chat. Beautiful. Yeah, you bet, Raphael. You bet, man. But no, yeah, we're gonna get going here. So yeah, I want to wish everyone a great day. We got some sunshine now. Hey, summer's coming, boys. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below in the comments for me. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button. I always appreciate that so much, guys. Yeah, seriously, if you guys have any questions about this stuff, please don't be afraid. I almost reply to, over the last 6 years, I've almost replied to every single comment. The only time I don't reply to a comment is if I like miss it, and the only ones I miss are the ones that reply back to me, okay? Because I have to turn a filter off to get those ones, so I don't always remember to do that. Or if it's like some stupid troll comment, right? You know, sometimes I'll reply to them, but most of the time I won't. But I do reply to every legitimate, every question. So Please, thanks, guys. Be safe out there, and we'll see you very soon, guys. Bye for now, everyone. Whew.